Hello there, this is Elena again, and today I'm gonna tell you a few things about Russian trolls. It's a bright sunny day in British Columbia, and I was reading the news and I find out that some Canadian researchers find that lots of Russian trolls writing tweets about promoting Putin, Russia and the war in Ukraine, trying to brainwash Canadians with Russian propaganda. And that's what I would like to talk to you about today. Since the day is very bright, I probably will just show you around while I'm talking, for you didn't have to look at me and instead look at the scenery. So let's do that. The link for the articles about the Russian trolls in Canada I'll provide you in the description to this video. Yeah, I would refer to it like surprise, surprise. Russian trolls texting and tweeting and writing stuff in Canada and posting things. I'm personally not surprised, that's why I'm being sarcastic, because I was talking about all along when I'm living in Canada for 18 years. I can explain that I'm not talking about trolls as a fairy tale characters or from the fantasy movies. No, I'm talking to you about the propaganda trolls. And no, it's not individual people who just sitting in the internet just because whatever the flaws of their characters or the losers of some sort who just writing bad comments to somebody just to prove people that they are great and everybody else is not so much. It's not about that. The difference between Russian propagandist trolls is that they paid by Russian government to do what they're doing. And what they're doing exactly, they achieving several different goals. One of them is make life in other countries worse, so Russia look better. Promoting authoritarianism, trying to, especially right now when the war in Ukraine going on, basically Putin started World War III already. It's just the world so far choose to ignore it. Well, not ignore it, the world is helping Ukraine, but for everybody it's mostly this is the Ukrainian war. But it's not. It is we all involved in it and will be involved. Putin already threatening to use nuclear weapons, and he can use it in any way he wants. And that is why it's so important to stop Russian propaganda in our countries. I have the whole video called about USSR propaganda. You can find it in my playlists in this channel. But this video would be about Russian trolls. About propaganda there is a different video. You're welcome to see it. And the problem with Russian trolls that they pretend to be real people like you and I. And Russian trolls, how do I know that they exist? It's a proven fact. Why it's a proven fact? Because even in Russia, the journalist, one of the journalists in St. Petersburg, get the job on the troll factory, paid by the government, and then she sued them. In the court of St. Petersburg, I'll try to provide you links, they were in Russian, I think there are some in English too, about that. And the court actually, she won the case, and the court awarded her she was supposed to get paid salary, and for her psychological damage of 1 ruble she got awarded. But it was the principal case. It was the case about that Russia as a government paying trolls to spread out propaganda and lies in other countries. And that's what we dealing with. Russia was fighting information war. Since the end of the Cold War, Russia never stopped fighting. They always treated the Western countries as an enemies, and Russians only have one way to deal with the enemies. If the enemy doesn't give up, he has to be destroyed, eliminated, murdered, killed, whatever it takes. That is why it is serious. It is a serious thing, and it's not a few tweets. The Russian trolls are everywhere, in the comments of YouTube channels, in Russian and in English. Even when I watch old Soviet Russian movies, which I like, on YouTube, I see a whole bunch of comments about, oh, how wonderful was USSR, and I would like to, they were so much more moral than everybody else. That's why movies were so good. Well, if you watched all Hollywood movies, they will also would be good and kind, and would be no sex or nudity or anything, and so on. That was the era, and Soviet movies actually, despite some of them were really good and I really like them, but many of them was truly a propaganda, and they not portray their life in Soviet Union and in Russia how it was. They was creating a fake idea about that everything is great, everybody happy, and all the countries USSR grabbed and make them Warsaw Pact countries with the gun to their head. All they happy to be with USSR. That was their choice, which isn't. And the Western people know that. Many Russians don't. They really surprised why Ukraine doesn't want to be with Russia. Because Ukraine want to be independent. Because Ukraine was forced to be with Russia. Because Ukraine survived huge Holodomor. It was a starvation at several years and several times. Man-made, Stalin-made, and personally hunger, when millions of people died. Yet USSR was covering it all up. But talking about trolls, what you have to watch for is, it's an opinion. If you see the comments, first find out where they're coming from. If they're giving you links to certain information, if it's in any way connected to Russia or government or Russia Today or Sputnik, or even that Canadian professor Michael Shasudovsky, if I pronounce his name right, who created his own think tank, which was pro-Russian, and Russian propaganda, was very spreading Russian propaganda in Canada and in other countries. You can throw it in the garbage. Even if there is 5% or 3% or 1% of truth in what they're saying, it will be really hard to find and distinguish and find out what it is like, what it is about. And many comments, many even at the newspapers, like if you see comments pro-Russian and stuff like that, it's either Russian trolls or it's a people brainwashed from Russia so much that they live in here in Western countries for 20 to 30 years and they still believe Putin and Putin's propaganda. So you can disregard it, especially if it's conflicting with what you know. And right now the problem is, in every country, in absolutely every country, no matter how well, what is this country, is it good country, is it not good country, there are people who not happy about something, dissatisfied with their government. These people are very susceptible to believe in that trolls and the propaganda, and if people thinking, oh, that person writing a comment on Facebook, it's not a government agency or a newspaper or some sort of a real news. It's just a private person. It must be true what that person is saying. Most likely it's not. Especially people don't provide information about themselves. People don't explain who they are. It's most likely a bunch of trolls. So please be aware about that and verify the information until you get to real, reliable resources. Resources which you can confirm, which you know who they are, where they're from, and so you know what kind of information is that, can it be trusted or not. War in Ukraine is aggression of Russia. Russia started that war. There is no absolutely way. Absolutely there is no way. So people can justify that war in any way. Putin doing it for his own country because he brainwashing them for decades. Even there, people, Russian people, stand up against him and they don't believe him because they know he's lying. He's lying all the time. And if trolls trying to portray that it's not true, they are lying to you as well. And this is just disgusting. What I'm showing to you is British Columbia, Canada, as you can clearly see by the signs and stuff. So I did prove you who I am. The trolls most likely don't. Please beware of that, verify your information. And you're welcome to watch some of my videos which explain you, in description of those videos I provide the facts where I came from. I provide you the information. What Russian trolls trying to do at first is, especially right now with the war in Ukraine, first is split up the coalition of NATO countries or European Union countries, for they don't help Ukraine, and let Russia and Putin do whatever he wants. The more people in Canada or in any other countries would distrust their government, trying to make life of their government difficult by creating a bunch of protests here and there right now, and ignoring the war in Ukraine. Yeah, I understand it's going on for a long time, it's over 100 days. So what Putin is counting, that Western society would be tired to hear about suffering and war, because we have such a nice weather here, and I can see even Canadian flag somewhere far away. So somewhere there. And Putin expecting that people in the other countries would forget about the war, wanted to their government not supporting Ukraine, because they're trying to explain Canadian people and people in the rest of the world that Putin have some sort of a justification of what he is doing. He is not. It's a lie. And also they wanted to cause as much problems in other countries as possible. It will only make him look better and help him to kill Ukrainians, to win that war, whatever he is losing right now. And his time is running out. He's running out of resources, he's running out of the weapons. And every delay hurts Russia. They need to win and win quickly. For that, other countries shouldn't help Ukraine, in his opinion. In my opinion, other countries should help Ukraine. It helps Russia as well, because loss of war in Ukraine will make Putin's regime lose his power, and most likely Putin will not be in power. While he is in power, it's a danger for Russia, danger for Ukraine, and danger for the whole world. So please fight Russian trolls, don't let them fool you. Verify the information, and have a good day. And one additional comment I want to make, it's about Russia Today, which Russian government propaganda tool. It's not a news, even if it was briefly, it was about in 2004 or 5 maybe. Luckily, finally they closed it in Canada, or supposed to anyways. In Russia there are no foreign news, period. There are no news or journalists who will tell the truth about Russia to Russians, about what's happening in Ukraine or anything. They all either outside of the country or they just in jail, like Vladimir Kara-Murza, for instance. That is why if Putin trolls anytime saying, oh, it's not good that they closing Russia Today, how dare they, because it's freedom of speech, it's not. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom of foreign propaganda in your country. At the time when I was writing my book about future of Russia in 2017, describing the war in Ukraine, describing lots of things about propaganda, about USSR, history of USSR. At the time, Russia today, in about 2013, something like 2014, they were spewing their propaganda for 644 million people in 100 countries, 85 million people in the United States alone. So this is government propaganda tool, Russian government propaganda tool. So if you still have that channel in your country, please don't watch it. It doesn't worth your time. It's a lying propaganda tool, which want to make your life in your country worse and want people in Ukraine murdered, killed, Ukraine destroyed, and Putin prevail. And it's up to you to stop that. It's up to you to demand from your politicians to stop any Russian propaganda and any Russian propaganda trolls in your country. So do your part, help Ukraine. That's what I'm encouraging you to do.